Alright, this video is on factoring, and we're going to factor when we have a leading coefficient in the first term. So a leading coefficient. This makes our factoring just a little bit more challenging than it was when this leading coefficient was 1, but it's still kind of the same premise, the same setup. So we're going to start out with a problem 20m to the 4th plus 31m squared plus 12. This was number 15 on your 10.6 white worksheet, and I'm going to go ahead and factor. The first step in factoring is to set up my parentheses. Look at the back term. That the back term is positive, which means they both have to be the same, either negative, negative, or positive, positive. The middle term tells me which they are. The middle term is positive, so they're both going to be positive, which makes my life just a little bit easier than the next problem we'll look at. They're both positive. Now, instead of just finding the factors of 12, I've got to find the factors of the first term also. So we're going to set up a product bank. Different than a money bank, but still helps us out a little bit. So product bank, I'm going to have first term and the last term. I'm going to have 20m to the 4th in my product bank, and I'm also going to have 12. I'm going to go ahead and move this up just a little bit here. Now my product bank, I need to find factors that multiply to be each of these, add up to be the middle term. We're going to have to use both. So in my product bank, I really like to start out with factors that are close to each other. So factors that are close to each other in 20m to the 4th. Well, 4 and 5 make 20 multiply together, so I'm going to try 4m squared and 5m squared, 5m squared and 4m squared. I have to try two different orders because we don't know where they go right now. Factors of 12, again, I like to start with close factors. So I'm going to start with 3 and 4 and then switch the order around, 4 and 3. If these don't work out, what I do is I cross them out and say new product bank numbers, and I try again. So we have two product bank numbers. Now, my goal in the product bank, I'm going to take the outside numbers, multiply them, the inside numbers, multiply them, and add them all together. So right here, I'm going to take 4m squared times 4, which gives me 16m squared. And then I'm going to take 15m squared times, 5m squared times 3, which give me 15m squared. So if I have 4 times 4m squared, I have 16m squared plus 5m squared times 3 is 15m squared. And that is going to equal 31m squared, which is my goal. I'm looking for 31m squared because that's what I have up here. So I know that my two factors are going to be 4m squared and 5m squared, 3 and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those in. This goes in the first, this goes in the second. So m squared, 5 squared goes in the first, 4 goes in the second. Foil and check to make sure that that is the right answer. Make sure you foil and check. Look at 9k to the 4th plus 18k squared minus 7. This is number 20 on your 10.6 white worksheet. And we're going to go ahead and factor this. Now, just like last time, I'm going to set up my factors parentheses first. This time I look at the back term and I say, it's not addition, it's not the same, they have to be different. Whenever this is a subtraction sign, the two factors have to be different signs. So here I go. I don't know what number's going yet, so I'm going to start out my product bank. Product bank. And I've got a 9k to the 4th and a negative 7. This negative sign is going to mess me up just a little, make one more step. So again, product bank, well, I could try 9 and 1. I want to try factors that are close to each other first. So I'm going to try 3x squared and k squared. Now, that's fine there. They're the same, so I don't have to switch order. This negative 7, well, the only factors of 7 are 1 and 7, except for one of these has to be negative, and I don't know which one it is. So I'm going to write 1 and 7 twice. I'm going to try the negative here first, negative here second. Well, no other factors except for I can switch the order so I can go 7 and 1. Again, I don't know which is negative, so I'm going to write it twice, go negative here once, negative there once, and see which one works. My goal right now, outside, multiplied together, add it to the inside terms. So I'm going to look. 3k squared times 7 gives me 21k squared. 3k squared times negative 1 gives me a negative 3k squared. And that's going to equal out to be 18k squared, which is what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for because 18k squared is my middle term up here. So I'm going to go ahead and square these and make sure that they match up. The first goes in the first, so 3k squared, 3k squared. The first minus 1, well, I didn't put my negative sign in the first, so that has to match up with the negative sign, but it has to match up with the 3k also. So we're going to go negative 1, positive 7, and I'm always going to FOIL to check. Not going to FOIL right now in the video, but we always FOIL to check to make sure that it works out. If this did not match up with this, the 3 and the 1, I have to make sure that I switch my signs so this matches up with my first one, this with my second. Final answer.